Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by, keeping me company as usual. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome, welcome. Please subscribe, share the video, give the video a thumbs up, and feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. To my subscribers and my regular viewers, welcome back. Always lovely to have you and to read your comments. So please remember to leave your comments in the comments section. I don't know why I'm even not tell you that, but it's something to say. Also, you know the ropes. You want to go ahead and give the video a thumbs up from now on. You'd also want to share because you want to discuss it later, the things that you're going to hear. And me peeps, you should hear the things that me have to say today. Well, not me really, but we have a special guest, and our guest is going to be telling us some things and reminding us of some things of which we, of course, have something to say, as usual. So go ahead and share the video. I'll wait for you to return. All right, great. So you've shared the video and you've given the video a thumbs up. So now it's time for business. But of course, I don't want you to think my mother not grow me good. Let me thank all of you in advance for the likes and the shares. Wonderful. Now let's get down to business. So we are still on to the Jamaica Labour Party's 81st annual conference, which was held on Sunday, November 24, 2024. I have to tell you, in recent times, I have been following the Labour Party's conference, and I'm telling you, this is one of the best in terms of the presentation. Not a moment was wasted. Show labor rights, and then respond. Show labor rights, and they respond, and that's it. Then they get down to the meat of the matter. Most of the time at these political gatherings, you find a lot of the presenters trying to G up the crowd, their supporters, with a lot of music and a lot of blowing of vuvuzela and, just a nice party atmosphere. But it appears as though the party, no appearance about it, the party apparently asked the supporters not to bring the vuvuzela because there have been complaints that, it's noisy and we can't hear the speakers. And on top of that, they're not listening anyway, right? And apparently want them supporters to listen. And of course, there's no way you can carry a message unless you hear the message. So it was a good plan. The conference was well organized. The PMP's conference was well organized too, but it's eminently forgettable because it was overshadowed by some things that the party had done, like having a Vibes Cartel on the platform. I don't even remember what most of them said, except for when Mark Golding said, in terms of the healthcare that is offered by the government through the clinics and the hospitals, if you're stupid enough to put him in power, he will be creating what he called affordable healthcare. Now that implies that he intends to, if you're stupid enough to put him in Jamaica House, to go back to the old days of charging fees for healthcare. And since him said it will be affordable, usually when people use the word affordable, it means to say most people can't pay for. You understand? But that aside, not PMP time now, JLP time now. So the speakers, though, at the conference were speaking to a certain message, and the large part of the message was to distinguish the JLP from the PNP so that people can see the difference between the two parties, right? Naturally, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting are two capitalists. The Labour Party generally serves capitalist interests. I mean, if you can't show a difference between the two parties, people will not come out to vote. So they want to create that air of difference between the two. The speakers also spoke to certain issues, what they're doing and what the party is doing and doing well, and what the PMP did, which was not so well. And the main point that they are pushing is the no new tax. So you know have to ask next year when you see them ads start run. You're going to see, some of what you hear at the conference. That is what you will be seeing at and hearing when election time come. So without further ado, let me not take up any more of your time. I'm going to let you listen to Juliet Cuthbert as she presents her or make her presentation to the conference. Very controversial. I hear Mark Golding responded, and I'm going to be bringing you his response in a short while. But let us listen to Juliet. I'll return with my own views, and I'm telling you, this is some hard punching. This little lady punch bad, man. She ramp rough. She don't play. So let's go ahead and listen now.
She win everything, yes. She lead on everything. Show a labor rights. Show a labor rights. Boy, I couldn't wait for this day, and I'm so happy that we're all here in the national arena. Labor rights, I bring you greetings from the cool, beautiful, green hills of St. Andrew, West Rural. Labor rights. Labor rights. I can say to you today that there is no doubt in my mind that this Prime Minister Andrew Holness is strong, is active, and advancing the interests of the masses, including the poor in Jamaica. Labor rights. My fellow Jamaicans watching, I stand before you today as a proud member of the governing party, the Jamaica Labour Party, with Andrew Holness as leader. I take pride in the fact that this government has an impressive track record carrying policies which have implemented to make your lives better. JLP cares for Jamaica. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It is this government, Labor Right, that has gone 8 consecutive years of no new taxes. This, of course, is compared to billions of dollars heaped on the backs of the Jamaican people by the wicked PMP administration. We have to say no to the wicked PMP policies. This government, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness, has gone even further. We have put money back into the pockets of Jamaicans because we understand that now we have a stable economy, the people must benefit. And that is why we cut income tax and we have given back 250,000 Jamaicans back $20,000 each. I am proud to be a part of this administration that was wise enough to make more than double the minimum wage. And we did that because our party understands that good government is about putting in place the policies to make your lives better and easier. We did that, Labor Rights, because it is our conviction that helpers like my mother, janitors, the cooks, the groundsmen, the people who work on the garbage trucks, the security guards deserve to step up in a life. Even as we acknowledge that there is much more work to be done, and we commit that we will get it done because this government is working. We can be proud that this Jamaica Labour Party government has increased the pensions to our senior citizens. We have spent over $1 billion on the PATH program to improve the lives of of poor people, built the most houses in a single term that any other administration has ever done in the history of Jamaica. We have given away many hundreds of houses to the poor. These Labourites are among the reasons why we ask you to say yes to this government of the Jamaica Labour Party and Andrew Holness. Labourites and my fellow Jamaicans, our track record leaves no doubt that this government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness is strong and is active in putting in place the policies which advance the interests of the masses, including the poor people in Jamaica. And to our Jamaican brothers and sisters who require more assistance, I say to them, I know that our government and our Prime Minister will respond and do more to improve your lives. Labourites, this country will likely in the coming months face a serious choice. It's going to be Andrew Holness or Marky British. In the Jamaica Labour Party, we have a strong leader who has come from very humble beginnings and has stayed humble and committed to working to improve the lives of the Jamaican people. Our leader, Labourites, has a strong track record of actively putting in place the policies which ensure socio-economic development. It is under the watch of Andrew Holness that we have navigated some of the most serious crises that we've ever faced in Jamaica, including the COVID-19 pandemic. We were able to keep our country stable, and we were able to hand out thousands of care packages under this administration during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Jamaica Labour Party, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, is a visionary. He gave us Jamaicans the opportunity. Now think about this. How many regular Jamaicans knew about the stock market? But it was this leader gave the opportunity to buy stocks in Trans Jamaica, and many Jamaicans who have never bought stocks before bought into this company. Yes, our Prime Minister is for the ordinary man because he understands what it means by building from nothing to something. Our leader believes in the people. The most honorable Andrew Holness, he is not a boastful man. He is not a disrespectful man. He is simply a man from Spanish Town who committed to serving the people of Jamaica to make their lives better.
Andrew Holness are the best man to run the country and keep the people and town and country.
Labourites, our leader is strong, our leader is active, our leader is about serving your interests. But there's another man called Marky British, and he is a man who believes in holding chains around the neck of black people. And in a so, and him a take picture, a whole chain around my neck, the rest of my neck. We have to say no to Marky British because he's a man who love to show off, him love to boast, and say him done rich already. We don't need a man like that. We have to say no to the man that is leading the PNP, who love to style black people and call them little boy and little lady. We have to say no to the man who tell us out of his own mouth that him with himself and him Tapanaris friend them. We have to say no to the PNP Tapanaris man and him friend Peter Bunting, who's really the leader. Because they are the same ones who had a company years ago that benefited from the wicked PNP policies, and they made millions off the backs of the Jamaican people. Some of them suffered brutally. They even committed suicide, and we have to say no to them. We have to say no to the PNP Tapanaris men whose company was investigated for anti-corruption. We have to say no to them because we know that we have the better leader. My fellow Jamaicans, it is very clear that we have to say no to Marky British and yes to our God-blessed Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness. Shower Labour rights.
Usually we indecisive, but this time bro gotta win and we sure.
Well, that was one hell of a presentation. To the point, talking up the things about the accomplishments, talking the things that they want the public to hear. Those 9,000 people who are watching, and how many thousands watching now? And I have to say that it was an excellent presentation. Very, very well done. In terms of distinguishing between the parties, she did a very good job because she spoke about the fact that the Labour Party has not, and this is a fact, the Labour Party has not increased any taxes since the time, as I recall, when they introduced the 1.5 million. You remember that? Increasing the threshold from over 800,000 to 1.5. They told the public that that would not have caused any additional taxes. The PNP said yes, they got their figures, and they said it would have costed around 32 billion more in taxes. Little Joe Matalan came out and he was against it. He was the only person in the private sector I recall that came out and voiced his objection to the plan. No, it's not that they objected to it. The PNP was doing it, and I believe the Bruce Golding government was doing it for some time, increasing the threshold, but they were doing it gradually. So the cost impact in terms of taxes, because wherever you give up tax, if you don't have additional taxes coming in, when you give up, it means you have to get it from somewhere else because you have your bill them to pay. Not true? Yes, man. So the Labour Party then came out and conceded and said, oh, it's just going to cost us 7.5 billion. Well, when they came to office, the PNP make sure that them dog them with it and make sure them implement. And when they did, lo and behold, it cost $32 billion. So the taxes were, well, my recollection is that the JLP had reorganized the budget, because remember the election was February 25 and the budget would have been read in March. So they quickly do some little gymnastics and then they implemented $13.7 billion in additional taxes. And the other $13.5 billion came the following year, which would have been 2017. So let me do the maths. 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and it would be 24. That's 7 years. So it's actually 7 straight years of no new taxes. That is true. What they have been doing is living within their means, or I should say, let me correct myself, what we have been doing is living within our means. Whenever the natural increase in taxes occur because businesses are making profits, more persons are being employed, so that's another source. And you have other sources. If we have more imports, that's That's where the government will get the additional taxes from. And so what we have been doing is living within the means of the taxes. They have also been doing some infrastructural work. The PNP had left some projects. I think the lands were bought up, everything was done, but the IMF agreement made it so that they could not spend above a certain amount. They had to keep a certain amount of surplus budgeting. So all the projects were slated to begin December of 2016. December of 2016 is when the IMF agreement came to an end. So when you look at all the projects that were to start after that, then now you realize now that that was what the PNP was doing, waiting until the time passed so that we don't fail those tests. Well, for some unbeknown reason, somebody went, and we suspect it's Peter Bunting, because they were carefully laying the groundwork for the loss of the People's National Party in 2016. I want you to listen to me, good people. Listen to what I'm saying now, right? The People's National Party had a whole ton load of things that they were even doing under the IMF strictures. Nobody think it's the Labour Party alone did things. But I understand the Labour Party's position. You must go out there go sell your party, make the PNP go out there go sell themselves. I agree, that's how politics run. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You sell your party, and if them don't want to sell the PNP, for them business that, right? Yes, great. So a lot of things were done under the PNP as well. And they did not want Dr. Peter Phillips to become Prime Minister. Why? Bunting, he had a plan that he was going to become Prime Minister. He gave up the position as General Secretary of the PNP in 2014, went and set up a business called Office of Peter Bunting, located at Lady Musgrave, and through there, and he started his planning. Paul Burke, another crony of his, I would say, he became the General Secretary. Nobody knew what these people were doing. All of a sudden, there started to be challenges to about 10 sitting members of parliament. Members of parliament, except for Damien, the rest of them were comfortable in their seats. I mean, when them win, they were winning by 3,000, 4,000 votes. Northeast, St. Elizabeth, they hounded Raymond out. They hounded Damien Crawford out. He was in a seat that was marginal. They were trying to hound out Dr. Bloomfield. Eventually, he was killed. They tried to hound out Lisa Hanna. They tried, I would say, attacking this seat in, I think it's Southeast St. Elizabeth. Let me see where else they tried. There was a problem in the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. It was a parish council at the time, where they changed the mayor. There was a similar attempt in St. Mary. We heard from very good source that we believe was orchestrated by Bunting himself. And it's only because, or I should say Bunting and Golding and those cronies, that they had, been recruited at that time. And why I believe Bunting may have been behind it and Golding is because it's the very same thing that happened in the St. Thomas Parish Council. You will also recall that at the time there was a cascas going on in the Hanover Parish Council with that lady called Horton. She was accused of cronyism, right? Some relatives of hers she must have given some contracts to, and that was so. So you have that division going down in Hanover, another division going on in St. Thomas in the parish councils, and then you have another one that was attempted in St. Mary, which never quite came off. Then now you had the challenges to the 10 sitting MPs. I believe there was a challenge in North Trelawney too, right? As well. And what was striking was that, of course, they all failed. except for Damien and Raymond. They managed to run them out of town, right? Good. The Lisa Hanna challenge took place in 2015. Anyhow, Lisa prevailed, but that election took place November of 2015. And you imagine that with all of the division that is taking place in the party, uproar, Portia went and called the election for February. You see, if she had waited until the due time, which was the next, when was it? Which was December, so it would have been due in January of the following year. That would have given the party time to heal. No, they didn't want the party to heal. They wanted the party to appear to be divided because they know the Jamaican people would not vote for a divided party. And somebody went and told Portia that she should call election now. The risers are claiming it was Dr. Peter Phillips. It could not have been Dr. Peter Phillips, because Dr. Peter Phillips supported Portia, and he was not in league with Bunting and what Bunting was into. So we suspect it was Bunting that did it, and because he has always been trying to get close to Portia. And if not Bunting, one of his cronies in the Rice camp. So she called the election. The PNP lost by 1 seat. Despite the division, the PNP lost by 1 seat. Now, they did all of that, we believe, in the resistance because they did not want Peter Phillips to be leader. Bunting wanted to be leader. And had Portia won, she would have more than likely handed over the prime ministership to Dr. Peter Phillips and retire. Right? And that now would set back Peter Bunting with his ambitions. You getting it? Great. So they went and they did an internal sabotage of their own party, we believe, in order to get at the leadership. Well, it never worked out. You recall Ian Hales asking Portia for her timetable when she's going to leave. You remember that? And who is Ian Hales now? Yes, he was in the WhatsApp group with them, a plot up against the party. Yes, man, same one. You remember that, right? And you remember the one Dayton Campbell gone down and sent Anna talk about Lisa and her beauty queen and all them something there. Who is Dayton Campbell now? General Secretary, and he was in the WhatsApp group to a plot against the party. Yes, man. You get it? Yes, you see in the picture now. These are the people sat down and organized the People's National Party to lose the election. At that time, they never had a problem with Andrew coming to power. The same man them are called wicked. They never had no problem with him coming to power at that time because it suited their own narrow, selfish political interests. When the PNP lost, there was a local government election called for November. And you remember the heckling that was taking place? You remember when Portia went, where she went, Crossroads or somewhere, and some people came there heckling her. Them know Portia have a short temper, and they were hoping that she was going to lose her temper and say something out of order, or out of the way. And that now would cost the PNP the local government election. My peeps, most of you, some of you are JLP. Tell me so them people are not wicked. Talk to me in the comment section and tell me if these are not some evil people. Tell me in the comment section. Tell me your honest opinion. You think this is a strategy and therefore nothing is wrong with it? Or you think that this is evil? Wicked. She left from there and she went to Monica, try to help Lisa with her constituents. And some people turn up in a yellow. The wicked and lying people say Lisa organize it. Imagine Portia come there for help Lisa, because of the division in the constituency. And them organize a group of people for heckle Portia. Again, hoping so Portia they say something out of the way. And they knew that at the time Portia was not well. She was showing signs of the illness that they know that that is troubling her now. Right? To show you how these people wicked and evil. hoping that she would have said something out of the way. And she did not. She said something that annoyed some people. And then when it did not work, they turned around and says, Lisa organized it to turn the PNP people against Lisa, because they knew from a poll that was done in 2015 that when I asked the people after Portia Simpson demits office, who do you think is likely to become leader of the PNP? Dr. Phillips got 18% and Lisa was behind with something like 13%. So with Dr. Phillips out of the way, they know that Lisa would have been the challenge. You seeing what going on here now, my peeps? Me not tell you another dopey story, you know. A facts me a talk. Right? So them tell you lie upon Lisa. Right? For make the PNP people turn against her. Same like couldn't tell lie upon Dr. Peter Phillips. For make the people who support Portia turn against him. Right? Then they were laying the groundwork. Eventually, an election, one PNP MP died, Mr. Green. An election run, JLP won that seat. Next death was a murder in East Portland. Election run, JLP won the seat, and Peter Bunting decided now with his cronies that that's the time to make his move 1 year before the goddamn election was due. 1 year before the election was due. And now they make a rule in the party now. There can be no elections. No, non-election, not for president, not for, well, I never had no vice president election for about 4 years. 4 years I had a vice president then, no election. No election against the party's constitution. And it's these people said they want to run my country? No way. What it is that Manley said? No way. Can't say it nice like him. Unless you're stupid enough to go take him and take them, put them there. Then anything you get, you take and don't complain, because you can't say you were not warned about who these people are. As some wicked and evil people then. So they made their move. 650 million Jamaican dollars, approximately, we understand, was what Peter Bunting spent in order to overthrow Dr. Peter Phillips. And lost by 76 votes. And that was what caused the problem. Had the blasted delegates unite behind their leader, Dr. Peter Phillips, and send Bunting packing by 400, 500, 600 votes, the chant they would never have thought to come back again. But they lost by only 76 votes because the comrades and members were divided as to who should lead the party. And when you have that division, you're supposed to come back with your leader and they put the party back together. But in this case, they took advantage of it and started a WhatsApp group, several WhatsApp group, an organization, and they took the positions that they were given by the party leader. Bunting was made spokesperson on education, and he took those positions. They did to go around the country organizing, not acting according to their portfolio. They needed a cover. That's why they were telling Dr. Peter Phillips saying to put back Dayton in a position and all these people in a position. Because if they did not give them any position and then start to move around, the comrades would have noticed. So they used the shadow of the positions that they were given to go organize the comrades that they knew supported them under Dr. Peter Phillips' nose. And what is fascinating was that the leak came out in 2019 of what these men were doing. And the party did not investigate and expel them backside from it. And what happened? Them allowed them to stay because their numbers were so big. Seemed as if they were afraid to expel them, because then that would just mash up the party and the election around the corner. Well, that gave Bunting a free ride. Come election day, well, before election day, they even made an attempt to remove Dr. Peter Phillips. You know what they did? They found out Dr. Peter Phillips had cancer and leaked the information to a Labourite who then published it. They have the bloggers out there. You see, like what I'm doing to Andrew Wallace now is the same thing they did to them one leader because they want power, right? They were talking all kind of things about the man, telling all kind of lies about the man, demonize him, tell people how him unfit and how him have cancer and him soon dead. All them things that they used to go on with, you know. And Mark Golding come talk about racism. What kind of racism? Did you hear Juliet Cuthbert mention anything about race? It was his racism that she was pointing out when him take chain and put around black man neck or take off a black man neck. This was a skit. But him had key in a fin pocket to release black man from bondage. Him out of there, him, whose great-grandmother's great-grandfather and his wife were slave owners in Jamaica. 58 slaves. A little bit of slave them won't either. 58. Benjamin Nunes and his wife, Esther Nunes. Him, I come talk about him had key in a fin pocket to release black man. And him I come talk about racism. When him I call Bobby Montague, this big man, probably older than him, but little boy. That wasn't racism. So what is he talking about? So anyway, back to them now, to them time now, right? So they tried to remove Dr. Peter Phillips under the guise that they were going to visit him, to talk to him about why it is they haven't met in 6 months. Every time the party settled down and look like it's united, all of a sudden them do something to make people know so it's not united. That's what those scoundrels did. So they met with Dr. Peter Phillips. I hear they were passing around the paper in a parliament, you know, for them to sign the paper to have Dr. Peter Phillips removed as opposition leader and replace him with Bunting. That came out in the newspaper June 2 of 2020. You can go and read it. It was a Gleaner. Let me tell you the story. Right? These are the people that will look now to go sit down in a Jamaica house. Then form up some 400 groups with 600 delegates, most of which were fake. In the PNP, the groups need to have something like between 6 and 10 people. What them did, them had like 2 people in it, or maybe 1, and then go make up some name. Them had people inside of the party secretariat, them spies inside, and them have spies on Dr. Peter Phillips committees, them where Dr. Peter Phillips talk or bring back information to them, which any good organization, of course, you must have your spies them here and there. How you going to know what's going on? And so them have them people there tell them things, approving these groups, fake groups, nobody checking them. That's what these evil and wicked people were run the PNP, you know, Bunting, Golding, Angela Brownberg, Dayton Campbell, Ian Hills, right? That's them. And come talk about to them. Time come for them to do what? What time come for them to do? Mark Golding does not like people. And he has a problem with women. You hear me talk about him black queen where he married? I must be the only black woman him like. Because no woman can sit down behind him in a parliament. When Natalie was doing it, him asked her to go sit down somewhere else. And then Angela took her place. And about 2 weeks after, Angela go sit down somewhere else. I saw some man used to sit behind him. And they always make a point of their duty to sit behind him. It's Mikhail turn now. The man afraid of black people, especially strong black women. Him don't like them and him don't like people, right? Him don't like people. So, and he's a privileged son. So the question we must ask ourselves is this. Why does he want to be in Jamaica House? Why does he want to become Prime Minister of Jamaica when you don't like the people? You saw for yourself, Hurricane Beryl came around the corner. And in Hurricane Beryl, you see the man all over the damn place. Say, I go look for see what go on. And you don't see him hand a water bottle and give a soul. I mean, think about it. If you stupid enough to take this man and put him in a Jamaica house and there is another burial, what you think are going to happen? Him have the taxes to spend enough to help the people who need the help. You think that man was going to help them? You have to think about these things. The man went to St. Elizabeth and said, come tell we, come make a report and say, people don't get hungry. And the man, as you can see by his statutory declaration, that man have over $70 million. I mean, when you look all in that bank book, the US bank book, he have 100,000. That's 50 odd million. He has $50 odd million in his bank account that he can draw on. And he could not even buy a patty for somebody. Him say, I'm going to try see if he can raise funds or get people to raise funds to send go get the people. Oh no, we not see nothing like that happen. You take a evil, wicked, selfish and mean man like that and put in a Jamaica house. What the hell you think are going to happen if disaster broke in a Jamaica? These are things you must think about. Start thinking about when I say, I talk to no comrades now. Come in the labor rights and now look by him. Start thinking for yourself and look to one future. I don't want security, I don't want children, I want community. Follow up this damn white man I can't talk about Marky G, time come. Time come? Well, if time come, and that there son of a gun find himself in a Jamaica house, what PJ did say, we're not going to suck salt through a wooden spoon. I have nothing more to say to you on that score. For if you believe, say, it's me and people like me when pay the penalty for an ass like that, you make a sad mistake. When there is bad government, are you pay the penalty to the extent that you're poor? Are you pay it? Me can always make adjustments. You have no adjustments to make. I have some more news for you about this man who run up and down the place and talk about time come, and he's going to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. You see them MP there? You see them MP there? We tell them once, we tell them twice, we tell them over and over and over again. Remove that evil man you have caused. Remove that demonic man from out of the parliament. Right? First of all, he is in there illegally. He's not there legally, he's illegal. They have all grounds to have him removed. Apart from what he did to the party, which is anti-party activities. But them not do it. Them not do it. They must stick with this sinking ship. Well, I tell you something. We not stopping in the resistance until every single comrade in this country know what that man is and what he did. And how is it you think going to reflect on Uno MP inside? How you think it will reflect on Uno? Right? Uno depend on Uno own. Anyway, folks. That's all I have for you today. I will have other videos on the JLP conference. Thank you so much for joining me and be patiently listening to me. You can see my heart very full. Not true? Yes, man. Wicked and evilness, man. As Comrade Juliet would say, evilous people, them. Anyway, thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, and leaving your comments in the comments section. Until next time, you take very good care of yourselves and walk good.